All right, D&D enthusiasts, we're continuing our exploration of Monster Tactica, Monster Tactics, looking through the monster manual, pulling out monsters, and really exploring and looking at different ways in the narrative to utilize monsters. Yes, much of it is go out and beat on the players, but with many monsters, we also want to look at their special abilities, the unique things that they can do, not only in adding to the narrative, but opening up new challenges for our players. And of course, balancing with the party. I think the Banshee is a very, very interesting monster in that the narrative, and this fits into the narrative, some monsters are very social and they're found in groups. So you kick down that door and there's like 10 orcs in there, and there's an ogre mage leading it, and you've got an ogre who's the brute squad. You're going to fight them. You're going to utilize them. And that's a different narrative. And then there's some monsters that you find alone, haunting somewhere. You know, very much like a haunted lady of the lake, or putting a banshee in a magical tower, or utilizing aspects where, yes, it's undead, but in seeing that, you realize that there's a backstory to the banshee. You might not know what that is yet. Might be part of the adventure, might be a random encounter. You might build your adventure to discover that backstory. But right away it creates intrigue, especially for the characters that might want to discover more. So we're building this narrative. And the Banshee's interesting because it's not necessarily something, well, if you fought it before, you realize this 100%. Some monsters, you want to discover a little more. You want to send the rogue up and make that spot check and hide and see what we can do. You want to see what's going on, as opposed to just you kick down the door, there's the monster, roll for initiative, and attack. What's interesting with the Banshee, and this is what I think makes the Banshee deadly, not so much the armor class, but a decent amount of hit points, coming in at around 60 hit points, combined with the ability to fly. That's massive, 40 feet per movement. You're going to travel very, very fast. You've got a good stock amount of hit points. Armor class could be a little bit better. But what makes it really interesting, at challenge rating 4, I think the challenge rating should be a little bit higher. I mean, if I really went Tactica with a Banshee against a party suited for that challenge rating, and it was a balanced party. It's not like it's all fighters or it's all magic users. A balanced kind of standard D&D party. Frontline fighter, secondary fighter, divine support, rogue, magic support. And cleric could pull double duty and be second line fighter and divine. I could probably kill 2 characters. And I say that from having experience, yes, but also from realizing what makes the Banshee deadly is immediately the damage resistance. So you're not going to be able to hurt this Banshee essentially with anything that's magical. On top of that, it's immune to poison. It's immune to cold. It can't be charmed. It can't be frightened. It's the antithesis of everything that it does. You can't affect it. On top of that, now it's going to hit you and touch you, causing necrotic damage. It's going to wail once per day, and you're going to take psychic damage for everyone that hears it. And that once a day bomb means if the Banshee can kind of hover in, drop that bomb, catch everyone in the radius, that's auto damage right there, and then just go around with the corrupting touch and the vision. That's powerful for something that has decent hit points for the challenge rating that you can't necessarily hit back. So be very, very selective. Be very, very careful with a Banshee.